Hello students, in my last video I have explained the relationship between molarity and molality as well as molality and mole fraction. In today's class, that is lecture number 6, we'll discuss about the relation between molarity and mole fraction. Molarity and mole fraction. And of course, for this relation also we will have the derivation part. But right now I am not giving the derivation part. I already said you in regular class, then we'll see its derivation part. Right now I'll give you the direct formula only. That is capital M, nothing but molarity is equals to x2 into 1000 into density divided by x1 m1 plus x2 m2. All the terms are familiar to you. Here m for molarity, x2 mole fraction of solute, 2 for solute, 1 for solvent. 1000 is of course 1000 density of solution. x1 again mole fraction of solvent, it is a molar mass of solvent. And mole fraction of solute, molar mass of solute, right? Okay, then these terms you have to write here. Okay, right. Please try to remember the formula. Okay, then based on this formula, we'll see one question. We'll solve one question. That is, find the molarity. Find the molarity of aqueous solution of urea. Aqueous solution of urea. What is a solute? What is a solvent? Solute is urea. Solvent is water, right? Whose density, solution density given 1.12 gram per milliliter, and mole fraction of solute, urea given 0.6, right? With this information, we'll solve this question. With this information, we'll solve the question. First, we will write the information. I'll write here only. X2 value. What is X2? X2 is nothing but a mole fraction of solute. Here, what is a solute? Urea itself is a solute. That's why X2 0.6 directly we can write. Right. Next, density already given 1.12 grams per milliliter. X1, because the sum of X1 and X2 is equals to 1. That's why X1 equals to 1 minus 0.6. That is nothing but a 0.4. Because x1, x2 when we are adding, you have to get 1. Right, m1 molar mass of solvent. What is solvent? Aqueous. Water is solvent. That is 18. Molar mass of solute. What is solute? Solute is urea. Molar mass of urea is 60. That's it. Then all these values, if you substitute in the formula, you will get the answer. That is the molarity is equals to x2 0.6 into 1000 into density 1.12 divided by x1 0.4 into m1 18 plus x2 is 0.6 into m2 is 60. That's it. If you do the simplification, you will get 15.5 mole per liter, nothing but molar. That's it. Means this is the advantage of relation. Means one value has given, other value we can calculate with the help of a relation. Okay, this is the relation between molarity and mole fraction. Okay, then here the molarity formula. Molarity as well as mole fraction relation has given directly, and you have to remember this formula. Its derivation is also there. That derivation will see in our regular class, right? Next we'll enter into our next concentration term, which is again a very important concentration term. That is normality concentration term. Normality, which is designated with a capital N, normality. Let's see what is normality. But before we'll going to discuss normality, we'll recall molarity, because some similarity is there between them. Molarity will recall. What is molarity? Before molarity, I'll write again solute plus solvent will give solution. This is already known to you. Now what is the molarity? Molarity is nothing but a number of moles of solute present in 1 liter of solution is called as molarity. That already known to you. Number of moles of solute is present in 1 liter of solution is called as molarity. Now what is the normality? Slight difference. Instead of moles, remember, instead of moles will take equivalents. That is the difference. Moles, equivalents. Moles will be used in the molarity, equivalents will be used in the normality. That's it. Or we can also say gram equivalents also. Equivalents or gram equivalents, any word we can use, both are quite similar only. Okay, now instead of using of moles word, I will use equivalents word. Now how to define a normality? Complete same definition only. See here, number of equivalents of solute. Previously it was moles of solute. Now here equivalents of solute. Number of equivalents of solute present in 1 liter of solution is called as normality. Over. Once again, what is molarity? Number of moles of solute present in 1 liter of solution is molarity. Instead of moles will be replaced with equivalents. That's why number of equivalents of solute present in 1 liter of solution. That's why normality equal to number of equivalents. We can also say gram equivalents, doesn't matter. Number of equivalents of solute present in 1 liter volume of solution. We'll write volume of solution, which is a designated will be in liters. That's it. Okay, normality is equals to number of equivalents of solute present in 1 liter volume of solution is called as normality. Okay, now again we'll expand this formula. We'll expand. Right, now here in case of molarity, number of moles of solute present in 1 liter volume of solution, there moles nothing but mass by molar mass. Exactly, equivalents means what we have to write. Equivalents of solute means what we have to write. Let's discuss now. Therefore normality is equals to, we'll just split then, number of equivalents of solute into 1 by V in liters will write. V for volume of solution in liters. Now our target is what is meant by gram equivalents or equivalents. We'll have a specific formula for equivalents. Like how moles purpose we have written mass by molar mass. Exactly. Equivalents purpose also will have a suitable formula, that is, I'll write here first of all, I'll write here number of equivalents is equals to mass by equivalent mass is the formula. Here mass by molar mass by equivalent mass. Moles, nothing but mass by molar mass. Equivalents, nothing but mass by equivalent mass. That's it. Here numerator say mass, but denominator here molar mass. Here equivalent mass, molar mass, equivalent mass. One important thing you have to remember. See, moles equal to mass by molar mass. Moles different, molar mass different. Moles different, molar mass different. Exactly. Equivalents different, equivalent mass different. I'll repeat. Equivalents as well as equivalent mass, both are entirely different to each other. Don't get confused. Equivalents, equivalent mass. Equivalents, equivalent mass, both are entirely different to each other. Right. Now this formula, this mass by equivalent mass formula will substitute here. Okay, now this formula will substitute here. We'll get a next final formula of normality, that is normality is equals to, then instead of equivalents I can write a mass by equivalent mass. Mass means whose mass? Of course, solute mass. Because equivalence of solute we are telling mass of solute by equivalent mass of solute. Therefore, normality is equals to mass of solute. Mass of solute. Of course, a solute is designated with that is a 2 number. Mass is nothing but W, W2 divided by equivalent mass of solute. Equivalent mass of solute. I am indicating with E2. Of course, that is our wish. Molar mass we have indicated with the M2. Equivalent mass I am indicating with E2, doesn't matter. Okay. Into 1 by volume of solution in liters. 1 by V in liter. What is V? V is nothing but a volume of solution in liters. This is the formula to normality. Okay. Normality formula. Again one important point is, when we have to use this formula means if a volume has given in the liters, then only we have to use this formula. Sometimes what happens, a volume will be given in the milliliters. This concept is quite similar to molarity. Then in molarity also that conversion I explained. Once again I am not explaining, you just refer that video. I will give you direct formula here. I will repeat. If a volume has given in the liters, this is a formula. If a volume has given in the milliliters, the obtained formula is the same. Mass of solute W2 by equivalent mass of solute E2 into 1000 divided by V in milliliters. That's it. This formula we have to use when a volume has given in the liters. This formula we have to use when a volume has given in the milliliters. That's it. Here 1 by V, 1000 by V, 1 by V, 1000 by V. It's quite similar to our molarity concept. Once again we'll recall molarity. Then in molarity what we have written? Mass of solute by molar mass of solute we have written there. Here mass of solute by equivalent mass of solute. That's it. Okay. Then these two formulas are there. Based on the question we have to select appropriate formula. Right. Then we can also write its units. Then what are the units for normality? Directly here visible. Then before that what were units of molarity? Molarity units are mole per liter. Here instead of moles what were there? What are there? Equivalents are there. That's why equivalents per liter. That's it. Units. I'll write here units. Units. Equivalents. Equivalents, or we can say gram equivalents also, doesn't matter. Equivalents per liter is the unit for normality. Equivalents per liter. Equivalents per liter is the unit for a normality. Again, suppose if a value given 0.2 capital N, any like NaCl, something has given, how to pronounce that statement, I mean that value. How to pronounce means 0.2 normality of NaCl or 0.2 normal of NaCl. In case of molarity we have taken molar. In case of molality we have taken molal. In case of normality we are using normal. That's a 0.2 normal NaCl or 0.2 equivalents per liter NaCl. 0.2 equivalents per liter NaCl. That's it. Okay, 0.2 normality NaCl or 0.2 normal NaCl or 0.2 capital N NaCl or 0.2 equivalents per liter NaCl. Just like moles per liter, here equivalents per liter. That's it. Okay, next we can still extend the formula. How to extend the formula means, suppose I want equivalents. Therefore, then equivalents of solute. Then if you bring LHS, equivalents of solute, if you bring LHS, these two we can cross multiply. Therefore, number of equivalents of solute is equals to normality. Normality into volume in a liter. Volume of solution in the liter. Just like this type of formula we have discussed in case of molarity also. In case of molarity, moles, number of moles, we have taken a molarity into volume, moles nothing but N. This formula we have used there. Exactly. Instead of moles, we have written equivalents. Number of equivalents of solute equals to, instead of, here molarity, here normality, that's it. N into V, here M into V, N into V. Moles equal to molarity into volume, equivalents equal to normality into volume, that's it. Okay. Next, again here if you observe the formula, will have the volume term. Whenever a volume term is there, remember it is a temperature dependent concentration term. Definitely if you increase the temperature, volume will increase. If a volume increases, normality decreases. Right. This is absolutely temperature dependent concentration term. Okay, once again, what is the definition of normality? Number of equivalents of solute present in 1 liter of solution is called as normality. That's why number of equivalents of solute or number of gram equivalents of solute in 1 liter volume of solution. This is the basic main formula. Now, number of equivalents of solute, how to get? Number of equivalents, how we are getting? Very simple. Number of equivalents we will get just by using a mass by equivalent mass. Mass by equivalent mass is nothing but equivalents. That's why in place of equivalents, we will substitute this one. That only we have substituted here. In place, actually here in place, equivalents word is there. In place of equivalents, we have substituted a mass of solute by equivalent mass of solute. And of course, into 1 by V. V for volume of solution in liters. If a volume has given in the liter, this is the formula. If a volume has given in the milliliters, same, instead of 1, we will use 1000. Sir, how it is obtained? How this formula is obtained? Already I explained in molarity concept. You just refer that concept, right? Okay. This is about normality basic definition, right? Now, your question arising, that is, if you see the formula, normality purpose, we need mass. Mass means mass of solute. We need a volume of solution. At the same time, we need equivalent mass of solute. In case of molarity, once again we will recall, molarity equal to mass of solute by molar mass of solute into 1000 by volume of solution in the milliliter. That was molarity formula. Mass, that he will give in the question. Volume also he will give. Then a molar mass. Molar mass he will not give in the question. We have to calculate by seeing the formula. Whatever the formula, NaCl molarity, HCl molarity. Like that, whatever the component has given, its corresponding molar mass we can calculate easily. But here the problem is with the equivalent mass. What is equivalent mass? How to get equivalent mass is question mark. Remember, equivalent mass will not be given in the question. Equivalent mass he will not give. Only he will give mass. Only he will give volume. Then equivalent mass we have to calculate and we have to substitute. We will get normality. Then question arises here, how to calculate equivalent mass? That will discuss now clearly. Okay, right. Calculation of equivalent masses of various components. Equivalent mass of various components. But before that, once again I will write here a normality formula. Normality equal to mass of solute divided by equivalent mass of solute. Equivalent mass of solute into if volume given 1 by V, volume given in the liters 1 by V, if a volume given in the milliliters 1000 by V. Anyone we can use, it doesn't matter. That is a volume of solution in liters. If a volume has given in the milliliters, 1000 by volume of solution, the milliliters will write. Okay. Then mass by equivalent mass is nothing but equivalents. Already explained, equivalents different, equivalent mass different. Just like moles different, molar mass different. Right. Now our job is equivalent mass of solute, equivalent mass of various components. We'll calculate. Calculation of equivalent mass of various components. Because without equivalent mass, it is not possible to get normality, remember. Now, how to calculate equivalent mass of various components, I'll explain. But before that, I'll give you one general formula to find equivalent mass. Equivalent mass is equals to, remember, molecular mass divided by, I'm giving the general formula to find equivalent mass. Molecular mass divided by n factor. Sir, n factor क्या है? What is n factor? N factor, or we can also say valency of that given component. Means molar mass or molecular mass divided by valency, you will get equivalent mass, corresponding equivalent mass. Now various component means first we will find for acids how to find equivalent mass. Let's discuss now. Acids, how to get, we'll see them. Example number 1, we'll see the examples. But before that, I'll write a specifically equivalent mass formula for acids. Equivalent mass, particularly for acids, is equals to molecular mass divided by. Here specifically we'll use one term. N factor also we can use. N factor is general term. We can use for all the components. But specifically for acids, we'll use one particular term, that is called acids are having a basicity, remember. Equivalent mass is equals to molecular mass divided by basicity. Basicity, n factor, valency, all are same only. Then what is basicity particularly? What is meant by basicity? Okay, very simple. Basicity means number of displaceable hydrogen ions in the acid. Number of displaceable hydrogen ions is called as its basicity. Let's discuss some examples now. Examples. Number 1, equivalent mass of HCl we have to calculate. Equivalent mass of HCl. How to calculate? Same, molecular mass. Molecular mass already known to you. H is 1, chlorine is a 35.5, nothing but 36.5, up to here no problem. Divided by basicity. What is basicity? Means number of displaceable H plus ions. Here how many displaceable H plus ions are there? What is actually meant by displaceable H plus ions? Means if HCl is dissociated, you will get H plus Cl minus. H plus Cl minus. Displaceable ions means how many ions are ionizing or how many ions are participating in the reaction is called as displaceable hydrogen ions. If HCl is reacted with any OH, one H plus ion is participated, means the number of displaceable hydrogen ions are just 1 divided by 1. That's why equivalent mass how much? 36.5 only. Means as far as HCl is concerned, molar mass, equivalent mass, both are same. Why? Because valency, nothing but basicity is 1. That's why wherever the, means whatever the compound if you take, if its valency is 1, n factor is 1, its molar mass, equivalent mass remains same. That you have to remember. And one more example, say equivalent mass of sulfuric acid. Molar mass of sulfuric acid is 98, you just calculate. Okay, here how many displaceable hydrogens are there? H2SO4 is splitted. How it is dissociating? It is dissociating as 2H plus and SO4 minus 2. Number of displaceable hydrogen ions in H2SO4 are 2. Therefore 49. Up to here no problem. Next one more example will take then. Equivalent mass of CH3COOH. Acetic acid. Acetic acid equivalent mass will find same. Acetic acid molar mass is 60. You just calculate. Then divided by basicity means number of displaceable hydrogens. And of course, total how many hydrogens are there? 4. 3 plus 1, 4. Don't write 4 here. That is very important. Don't write 4 because all 4 are not displaceable hydrogens. How we are knowing? Means when acetic acid is dissociated, it is giving acetate ions and H plus ions. Remember, number of displaceable hydrogen ions are just 1. Remember, just 1. 60. One more example. Equivalent mass of H3PO4 and exactly one more example, equivalent mass of H3PO3. Simultaneously I'll give you, I'll explain simultaneously H3PO4 as well as H3PO3. We'll do one thing. First, as usual, we'll write molar mass, molecular mass of both the components. Then here hydrogen is of course 1, phosphorus 31 atomic mass and of course oxygen is 16. And if you add you will get we'll just calculate here. Hydrogen 3 plus phosphorus 31 plus 16 4 64. We'll add then, that is 4 plus 1 5, 5 plus 3 8 and 6 plus 3 9. 98 is molar mass of H3PO4. Once again, 3 phosphorus is 31 and 16 4 is 64. If you add 4 1 5 plus 3 8 6 plus 3 9, 98 is molar mass, but our target is equivalent mass. Wait, will calculate, but before that H3PO3 equivalent, molar mass will find. Same, 3 phosphorus is 31 plus 16 3s are 48 and again we'll add 8 plus 1 9, 9 plus 3 12 1 5 plus 3 8, 82 divided by how much we have to write is big question mark. I'll repeat, H3PO4 3 both molar masses we have written. Now divided by n factor, nothing but valency, nothing but number of displaceable hydrogen ions we have to write. Of course, here 3 and here also 3. Here 3 hydrogens are there, here also 3 hydrogens are there. But if you write 3 and 3, 3, if you write, that is wrong. Then how much we have to write? Let's see now. Let's see. We'll do one thing. I'll give you H3PO4 as well as H3PO3. Both the structures I'll give you. Both the structures. H3PO4 structure. P11O, OH, OH, OH. We'll just count 1, 2, 3. H3, P, 1, 2, 3, 4, O4. Right. It is H3PO4 structure. This structure we'll learn in P block elements. 15th group elements we'll learn, of course. Right. Now, what is its basicity? What is its basicity means here, see the important point. If hydrogen is connected to high electronegativity oxygen, in this case what happened? Lot of polarity existing between O and H, because more electronegativity difference is there between them. If more electronegativity difference is there means oxygen, what happens means this oxygen is taking sigma electrons towards itself. In this case hydrogen is going without electron called H plus. Here also hydrogen eliminated without electron is H plus. Here also hydrogen eliminated without electron is H plus. Means in H3PO4 total how many H plus ions can eliminate, can participate? It's mean how many hydrogen ions can participate in the bond formation? Means 3 hydrogen ions can participate in the bond formation. That's why whatever the hydrogens are there, all 3 hydrogens will participate. Therefore divided by 3, 98 divided by 3, if you do the simplification, then we'll get nearly 32.6. 32.6 is the equivalent mass of H3PO4. Now our target is H3PO3. For that purpose also I'll give you its structure. P double bond O, OH, OH, H only. Now we'll see the difference between both the structures. P double bond O, P double bond O, no doubt. Then OH, 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 but here OH is there, just H is there. Just H is there, it is a pH bond, okay. Then here what is its valency, what is its basicity? Means only this hydrogen can participate in the bond formation as H plus, this hydrogen also can participate in the bond formation as H plus, but this hydrogen is not willing to participate in the bond formation. It is not displaced as H plus. Why? Because hydrogen is connected to phosphorus, not oxygen, remember. Hydrogen connected to phosphorus. Hydrogen is not connected to high electronegativity element like oxygen, remember. Hydrogen has connected to phosphorus. That's why this hydrogen is not participated in the bond formation. Means it is not a displaceable hydrogen ion. That's why how many displaceable hydrogen ions are there? Only 2 displaceable hydrogen ions are there. Of course, total how many hydrogens are there? 3. Total 3, but displaceable hydrogens are only 2. That's why just by seeing the number, don't write directly, please. Just by seeing the number, don't write as it is directly. Okay, we have to know about its structure. We have to know how many displaceable hydrogen ions are present. Then only we have to write. That's why here too, if you simplify, of course you will get 41 is the equivalent mass of H3PO3. That's why H3PO4 as well as H3PO3, both the structures you have to remember. Okay, this is about equivalent mass of acids. Okay, what is the main, what is the formula particularly for acids? Molar mass by basicity. What is basicity? Number of displaceable or replaceable H plus ions. What is meant by replaceable? Means how many hydrogen ions will participate in the chemical bonding. That is only called as replaceable H plus ions, right. Now we'll go to bases. Of course, it is a general common formula. It is a common formula for equivalent mass. Okay, it is a specifically acids like that. Now specifically bases, specifically salts, specifically oxidizing agents as well as reducing agents also will discuss now. Next we will go to bases. Equivalent mass of bases we'll see now. Equivalent mass of bases, right. We'll write specifically equivalent mass is equals to molar mass, nothing but molecular mass divided by, remember, opposite word you have to remember. As far as acids are concerned, having basicity. As far as bases are concerned, having a base. Bases are having acidity, both opposite you have to remember. That's a basis. Basis means here we'll write acidity. Then what is acidity? What is the basicity? Once again we'll recall. Basicity means number of displaceable H plus ions. Exactly here, number of displaceable or replaceable OH minus ions. That's it. Number of OH minus ions only called as acidity. Nothing but a N factor, nothing but a valency, all are same only. Now we'll take some examples. Equivalent mass of sodium hydroxide. What is the formula? Molar mass, molecular mass, sodium hydroxide is 40 divided by number of displaceable OH minus ions are just 1. Therefore, its value is 40. Again, equivalent mass of potassium hydroxide. Then the same molar mass of potassium hydroxide. Potassium is 39, hydrogen is 1. Okay, 40 plus oxygen is 16. 16 means 56. 40 plus 16, 56 is a molar mass of potassium hydroxide. How many displaceable OH minus ions are present? 1. That's why equivalent mass also 56 only. Remember, if a valence is 1, that is nothing but N factor is 1, then molar mass, equivalent mass remains same, right. One more example, equivalent mass of barium hydroxide. If you take barium hydroxide, first I'll give you barium hydroxide dissociation. We'll write here barium hydroxide will dissociate as Ba plus 2OH minus ions. How many displaceable OH minus ions are present? Means 2. Right. Now again we will calculate its molar mass. Barium hydroxide molar. Barium is 137. You just calculate. Barium is 137 and here 2 oxygens are there, 2 hydrogens are there. If you add, you will get 171. 171 divided by, that is acidity, is 2. Number of displaceable, nothing but replaceable OH minus ions are 2. That's why if you simplify, you will get 85.8 you are getting as equivalent mass. See here a molar mass is 171, equivalent mass is 85.5. Molar mass, equivalent mass are not same. Why they are not same? Because valency is not 1, remember. If a valency 1, obviously both will same, right? Then we'll go to equivalent mass of salts. Equivalent mass of salts, I'll write here only equivalent mass of salts. See here, still we have not started normality problems. That is very important. Yet not started, because we are knowing how to calculate equivalent mass of solute. Because the mass he will give, volume he will give. The problem is with the equivalent mass. Equivalent mass is our job. We have to calculate. Without equivalent mass, normality is not obtained. That's why we are learning how to calculate equivalent mass. That only I am explaining now. Okay, right. Now equivalent mass of salts. Equivalent mass of salts. I will write again specific formula. What is the specific formula means? We will write equivalent mass is equals to, as far as the salts are concerned, we will use, instead of molar mass, we will use the word formula mass. Of course, molar mass, formula mass, both are same only. Suppose if you are getting confused, you can use molar mass only, doesn't matter. Molar mass or formula mass, I will write formula mass. Yeah, divided by. What is the n factor means? See here, total positive or negative charge. Total positive or negative charge, or total magnitude of positive charge or magnitude of negative, or we will write like this: total charge on cation, we will write like this, or total charge on anion. That's it. Okay, molar mass or formula mass divided by total charge on cation or total charge on anion. So what is this total charge? Wait, see here, suppose sodium chloride is a salt. If it is a dissociating, you will get a sodium ion and a Cl minus ions. What is our formula? Total charge on cation. Then here, what is the total charge on cation? Total charge is nothing but plus means plus 1, minus means minus 1. Total word when we are using, we have to tell just magnitude only, we have to tell. Magnitude. Quantity only we have to tell. We should not tell the sign. We have to tell the magnitude, nothing but a quantity, that's it. That's why total charge on cation is 1. Don't tell plus 1. Total charge on anion, of course, 1. Don't tell minus 1. Okay, and one more important thing is, if you take any salt, total charge on all the cations compulsory equals to total charge on all the anions. Then only it is called salt, remember. Then cation charge is 2, anion charge is 3, is wrong. If it is a plus 2, that should be minus 2. If it is plus 3, that should be minus 3. Plus 4, minus 4, plus 5, minus 5, like this. Total charge of cations as well as total charge of anions always should be same. That's why here any one word also we can use, remember. Total charge on cation, enough. Then our total charge of anion is also enough. Any one term also we can write. Why? Because always these two are same, right? Okay. One more example I'll give you, like magnesium chloride, suppose salt. How it is splitting? Mg plus 2 plus 2Cl minus. Let's see now whether total charge of cations and anions are same or not. The total charge of cation is 2. Don't tell plus 2. 2. Then what is the total charge of anion? Anion charge is Cl minus. Minus means minus 1 only. Means here total charge of anion is 1. Total charge of anion is 1. No. Why? Because there are 2 anions are there. 2 anions are there. 2 into 1, 2 into 1, 2 into 1. Of course 2 only. Okay? Of course 2. It is 2. It is also 2. Cation is 2. Anion is 2. Like that. Any salt if you take, cation total charge and anion total charge must and should be same. Now we'll calculate some examples. Equivalent mass of sodium chloride, same. Molar mass, of course, already formula we have written here, no need to write here. Sodium is 23, chlorine is 35.5, 58.5 divided by total charge and cation is 1 or anion is 1. Don't write plus 1 or minus 1. Then of course 58.5 only. Then equivalent mass of potassium chloride. Then how much? Potassium is 39, chlorine is 35.5. Molar mass we are calculating 5, 9 plus 5, 14, 3 plus 3, 6, 74.5 divided by, of course, total charge is 1 only. Therefore 74.5 is equivalent mass. Here also same. If valency, nothing but total charge is 1, molar mass, equivalent mass should be same. And equivalent mass of magnesium chloride, magnesium is 24, 2 chlorines is 71, then 5, 9, 95 divided by total charge and cation or anion. How much? 2. Therefore 2 4s are 9, 1, 2 7s are 15.5 something, 47 is the equivalent mass. Like that, whatever the compound has given, we can calculate. One more example, equivalent mass of sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate molar mass is 106, you just calculate. Then what is the total charge? Sodium carbonate will split then. Na2CO3, if it is splitted, you will get a 2 Na plus CO3 minus 2. CO3 minus 2. Here 2 into 1, 2 into 1, 2 into 1, it is 2. It is already 2. That's it. Total cation as well as anion charges are same. There is nothing but 53 is the equivalent mass. This is about salt. This is about salt. Acids we have calculated, bases we have calculated, even salts also we have calculated. And last one more concept is there, that is how to calculate equivalent mass of oxidizing as well as reducing agents. Finding the equivalent mass for oxidizing as well as reducing agents. Equivalent mass of oxidizing agents or reducing agents. Yeah. What are oxidizing agents? What are reducing agents? I explained in electrochemistry lecture number 1 video. You just refer that video, you will understand what is oxidizing agent, what is reducing agent. Now I will give you the formula. Equivalent mass is equals to, particularly for this one, that is the same, molar mass divided by number of electrons transferred. Is specifically for oxidizing or reducing agents purpose. This is the formula. Number of electrons transferred. Nothing but n factor, nothing but valency only, of course. This is the formula. Molar mass divided by number of electrons transferred. I will give you example. Then best oxidizing agent is potassium permanganate is best oxidizing agent. We will find its equivalent mass. Then the thing is, potassium permanganate in a different medium, different types of reactions are taking place. In acidic medium, it will give one product. In basic medium, it will give one product. In neutral medium, it will give another product. That's why all three I will give you then. We'll do one thing. If potassium permanganate is splitted, you will get a K plus and MnO4 minus. I am not using a K plus, remember. Why? Because K plus will not participate in the reaction. Will not participate means as a reactant also its charge is plus 1, as a product also its charge is plus 1, remember. Its oxidation state will not change, means it is not participated in the reaction. That's why I will use only participated species, that is the MnO4 minus in acidic medium, in the basic medium, in the neutral medium. How it will convert, let's see now. Then first, MnO4 minus, MnO4 minus, in this manganese oxidation state first we will calculate. Manganese we don't know, X plus 4 into minus 2, that is a minus 8 equal to total charge is minus 1. X minus 8 equal to minus 1, X equal to 8 minus 1, that is plus 1. Means MnO4 minus manganese oxidation state is plus 7, of course. Right. In acidic medium, it is converted as Mn plus 2. Okay, now in acidic medium it is converted into Mn plus 2. It is fixed, no doubt. Then plus 7 converted to plus 2. Plus 7 converted to plus 2 means what is the difference? Difference is 5. Plus 7 converted to plus 2 means the difference is 5. Means here how many electrons are involved? 5 electrons are involved. That's why here we will write N factor is 5. N factor, nothing but denominator, you will get 5 in case of acidic medium. Yeah, we will go to basic medium. In basic medium, MnO4 minus converted as MnO4 minus 2. It is a permanganate ion converted to manganate ion. Permanganate ion to manganate ion. In manganate ion, oxidation state of manganese, we will calculate here. We will calculate oxidation state of manganese. MnO4 minus 2, X we don't know, plus 4 into minus 8 equal to minus 2. Therefore, X equal to will shift 8 that side, 8 minus 2, we are getting plus 6, right. Therefore, here manganese oxidation state is plus 6. As a reactant, its oxidation state is plus 7. As a product, its oxidation state is plus 6. Means here difference is 1. How many electrons are involving here? Just 1 electron only. That's why N factor is 1. Nothing but valency is 1. Okay, and finally neutral medium, it is converted as MnO2 manganese dioxide. In manganese dioxide, X minus 4, manganese oxidation state is plus 4. Here 7 converted to 4, 7 converted to 4, 7 converted to 4 means how many electrons are involving here? 3 electrons are involving here. Therefore, N value is 3. Okay. This is very important. In oxidizing agent, as far as KMnO4 is concerned, in acidic medium, you will get one equivalent mass. In the basic medium, you will get another equivalent mass. In neutral medium, you will get another equivalent mass, remember. Equivalent mass will not be fixed in case of KMnO4. It is depending on medium. Suppose we'll calculate here equivalent mass of KMnO4 in acidic medium. If I ask, what you have to do? Entire KMnO4 molar mass you have to calculate. Entire KMnO4 molar mass is nearly 158. You just calculate at your home. Entire KMnO4 molar mass is 158. In acidic medium is what we have to do? Divided by number of electrons transferred in acidic medium is just 5 only. If you simplify, you will get answer. Exactly. Equivalent mass of KMnO4 in a basic medium. Again, molar mass 158 divided by, in basic medium, how many electrons are transferred? 1 only. Means you will get same answer, of course. Similarly, KMnO4 equivalent mass in neutral medium, 158 divided by 3, you will get its corresponding answer. Like that, in different mediums, you will get a different equivalent masses. Similarly, one more oxidizing, it is oxidizing agent, of course. One more oxidizing agent is also there, that is potassium dichromate. Potassium dichromate also splits as Cr2. Okay, right. 2K plus Cr2O7 minus 2, and potassium dichromate Cr2O7 minus 2 also in acidic medium it is converted as 2Cr plus 3, of course, Cr plus 3. Then in Cr2O7 minus 2, what is the chromium oxidation number? We'll calculate that is a 2x and 7 into minus 2, that is okay, we'll write a minus 14 equal to minus 2, 2x minus 14 equal to minus 2, 2x equal to 14, if you shift that's at 12, x equal to 6, x equal to 6, x equal to 6 means here it is a 6, then here 2 3 is a 6, 6 means here how many electrons are transferred, means, otherwise we will write, suppose only one chromium if you take for understanding purpose, here one chromium, here also one chromium, please try to understand, here only 6 is one chromium oxidation state, one chromium oxidation state, here also one chromium oxidation state, difference is 3, remember, difference is 3, but in this reaction total 2 chromiums are there, 2 into 3 total 6 electrons will be transferred, therefore n value is 6, remember, n value is 6, why? Because for one chromium difference is 3, for 2 chromiums definitely it is 6, therefore we'll find equivalent mass in acidic medium Cr2O7 minus 2, dichromate, potassium dichromate is 294 total. We can write K2Cr2O7 total, we can write K2Cr2O7 294 divided by 6, whatever the value you will get, that is your equivalent mass. Like this, equivalent mass of oxidizing as well as reducing agents also we can calculate. See here once again, till now normality problems has not started, just we are calculating equivalent mass of various components like acids, bases, salts as well as oxidizing as well as reducing agents. Now we'll enter into normality problems. We'll solve just one problem and then we'll stop the video, okay? Right. We'll see one question based on normality. Normality, one simple question we'll solve first up. What is the normality of HNO3 solution containing 6.3 grams per liter solution? That's it. Very simple question. What is the normality of HNO3? HNO3 is a solute, okay, and containing 6.3 grams per liter solution. This here HNO3 mass is 6.3 grams. Okay, we'll write our regular data. We'll write first of all, there is a mass of solute W2 6.3 grams, mass of solute. Equivalent mass of solute, formula molar mass of solute divided by HNO3 is acid. Acids are having a basicity. Molar mass of HNO3 we have to calculate. H is 1, nitrogen 14 plus 1 15 plus 16 3 is 48, 48 plus 15 total 63 we will get, divided by basicity. How many replaceable hydrogen ions are present? 1. Therefore molar equivalent mass is also 63 only. Then volume, how much given? 6.3 grams per liter. 1 liter volume only has given. And of course asking, what is asking? Find the normality. Normality is question mark. This is the data of the question. Now actual formula will write. Normality equal to, see here in the question volume has given in the liters. Therefore liters related formula only we have to write. That is, I am using the complete words, mass of solute divided by equivalent mass of solute. If you want, you can write the symbols in the bracket, it doesn't matter. Into we should not write 1000 by V, we will write just 1 by volume of solution in liters, that's it. Mass of solute W2 6.3 divided by equivalent mass of solute is 63 into 1 by, of course, volume of solution is also 1 only. 6.3 divided by 63, 6.3 divided by 63, you will get, of course, 0.1 normal. Normal we can write, or we can write equivalence per liter also we can write. Equivalence per liter, right. These are the, calculations to, how to calculate equivalent mass for the various components that we have learned, as well as just one problem of normality we have solved. And in our next video, we'll solve some more problems based on normality only. Right, okay? Thank you for watching. Bye.